And good morning. Today we're talking about your supermarket experiences. This is Mike Stand with Resolution Radio 2020. And soon I'll be taking your calls on this interesting subject to figure out what goes on between you arriving there, going down the aisles looking for your custard creams, I believe they call them, and other assorted sundry items that you may want to buy from the supermarket. What is your supermarket experience? Do you enjoy the monthly shop if you go there and stock up your freezers for the winter like a bear hibernating? Or do you go every couple of days and just get a few items? What's your method? What's your preferred method of using the supermarket? Do you spend more time in the alcohol aisle? Do you spend more time looking for new things? Does it infuriate you when they move things around, change the location of certain items that you normally go to straight away? So we'll see what you think. Tell me what you think. Give me the call, usual number, and we'll discuss this exciting and thrilling topic.
Mike Stand taking your calls.
And our first caller on the subject of supermarkets is Fred. Good morning, Fred.
Oh, hello, Mike. Long time since I've given you a phone call. I just thought, you're talking about an interesting subject here. One of the things I find most irritating about going to supermarkets is supermarket trolleys, They seem to go where they want to go rather than where you want them to go.
Is that due to an errant wheel, or does it feel like one of the wheels is square and you're struggling? Or is it that you overload the supermarket trolley there with chocolate cookies?
I know. It's the typical thing of, getting a supermarket trolley to go where you want it to go is trying to teach your cat to type its autobiography. It's an almost impossibility. They go where they want to go, and that's the end of it. So if you want it to turn left, it normally goes straight on. If you want it to turn right, it normally turns left. It's a very infuriating thing. That's if you've got a pound to free your trolley from its captivity in the first place to be used to get round the store.
That's a very interesting observation, Fred. Thank you for your call. Now then, George, you're your next caller. Would you like to make an observation about supermarkets? That's our topic for today on Resolution Radio 2020.
Yes, I rather would. I think what you'll find, according to my housekeeper, I stopped using supermarkets because she told me she'd seen people walking about in their pajamas.
She'd seen people walking about in the supermarket in their night attire?
That's absolutely correct. I thought that was so unseemly. I now have everything delivered, so I wouldn't set foot in one of those places.
So, George, are you absolutely certain that your housekeeper doesn't go and do the supermarket shopping on your behalf in her night attire?
Well, I don't. I tend to employ a very select type of staff, and I employ staff who don't disrobe at all, or at least not to my knowledge.
Well, there you go, George. You seem to live in a very rarefied world, a high-class world, it seems. Well, thank you for your contribution. Arthur, you want to make a point about supermarkets.
Yeah, I do. I really do. I've noticed over the last few years, my wife, she works in the supermarket, or used to work in the supermarket, so, that was part of our family income, the wages from the supermarket where she worked, because she worked in the supermarket, you see. I think I said that, anyway. And the thing was, she worked on the till, beep, 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 and all that kind of thing, smile and a cheery wave for the customers, got you to know them, and some of them on first name terms and all that kind of thing, and all that, you know what I mean. And what I've noticed is something I don't agree with, which is these self-service automated till robot things that are taking over these jobs. I'm not a fan of that, you know what I mean. It's not good for the community. Anyway, I must be rushing off. I've got somewhere to be. You take care of yourself, Mike. And you keep smiling, of course, as I always say.
I'll do my very best. Beep, 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 you say.
Just one more thing to say about that bloke George, anyway, before I go. I bet he's got a house full of books he's never even looked at, never even read. That's the kind of bloke he is. House full of books to look the part. But anyway, never mind. Bookshelves up to the roof, made out of teak, no doubt. But anyway, That's his situation, I think, covered in dust and never even opened them, never even looked at the illustrations, you know what I mean? That's the kind of bloke he is. Anyway, I like the supermarket. I get all my extra stuff from there. I support the supermarket because, as I say, my wife used to work there.
Well, you're like a whirlwind today, Arthur. Thank you for your call, and everyone's entitled to their opinion.
Just one thing before I go. Keep smiling.
And our next caller about supermarkets and the hazards and pitfalls of supermarket shopping is William.
Hi, how you doing? I'll tell you one of the things that I recommend shopping locally as best you can, you know, for many of the items that you need. Local butchers and other kind of shops as best you can. Support them. You know, the supermarkets are huge and make a huge profit. And some of the smaller shops, we'll lose the character of the smaller shops if we don't support the shops, you know.
Well, that's a very good point. But if you do go in a supermarket, how is the experience for you there, William?
I'll tell you something, a tip that I find very useful. You know, when you're at the checkout and you're getting out your items from your trolley, and because most people are so agitated about queuing up nowadays, they seem to resent queuing up. And it's a great sort of British thing to queue up and take your turn and be fair to the next person and all that. But there seems to be a massive trend these days for people to be pushing you, right up behind you. It's like the same phenomenon as if you're at a set of traffic lights and you don't set off immediately. Somebody has to pip their horn behind you. They're almost driving in front of you rather than behind you. They're that het up all the time.
Yes, I've noticed that format. Those cars that turn themselves off to save resources at the traffic lights, if they don't start immediately, somebody's usually leaning on their horn there to shove them along. I have noticed that. But this thing in the supermarket, what do you mean?
Well, you're there getting your items out of your trolley, and if you're not careful, the next person's putting their items on the conveyor belt thing at the same time. So what I do, I put my trolley behind me and get the items out from there. And at least you get some breathing space. You haven't got them breathing down the back of your neck, setting up the hackles on the back of your head, and making you can feel a hot breath on the back of your neck. They're that keen to be in front of you that they're within a few inches of you, behind you. So I put the trolley behind me, and I think, well, at least it's a bit of breathing space, literally.
Well, that's a good tip, I think. Give yourself a little breathing space. Make the whole supermarket experience a tiny bit less stressful. Thank you, William. And our next caller is Jerry. Now, Jerry, I'm gonna just sit back and let you say your piece.
What's very kind of you, that, Mike. I was in the supermarket the other day and somebody dropped a packet of alphabet spaghetti on the floor. Could have spelled disaster, that, you know.
And there we go. Jerry the Joker. Nice to have you back, Jerry. If you like this channel, like and subscribe our page. Share it with your friends. If you understand the underlying message here, which is about entertainment and fun,
keep smiling.
Then continue to stay with us. I look forward to interacting with you in the future.